So the latest Mission Impossible movie is the second to be helmed by director Christopher McQuarrie, breaking the tradition of having each MI directed by a different person to give each film its own feel. The first was a bit of a convoluted spy film directed by Brian De Palma. The next was yet another project that begs the question, just what could have John Woo been capable of had he not been shackled by Hollywood? The third was probably the best of the bunch. Good villain. Don't remember too much of it though, except Philip Seymour Hoffman being suspended from a plane of sorts. The fourth one really raised the bar. It was a terrific movie, in a completely different tire to the previous films, and Rogue Nation, McQuarrie's first in the franchise, proved to be even better. Fallout is in line with its two predecessors in terms of quality. At this moment in time, if I had to choose, I'd probably pick Rogue Nation as the best, followed by Fallout and then Ghost Protocol. Fallout had some of the very best action scenes, but I do feel the story and characters and everything else flows much better in the last movie. So in this one, Ethan and the gang's actions in the last movie have repercussions involving the Syndicate reforming into a new group of villains called the Apostles, and they get hold of 3 super duper bombs due to a mission impossible that proved impossible from Ethan and the gang. Now with the bombs in the wrong hands, it's a race against time to find them before they cause untold destruction. Fallout is a great action movie. It's exactly what you want when you go out to the cinema and want to see an action movie for all the family. It's the kind of film that modern audiences crave for. We scream about wanting characters to care about, practical effects, and action that isn't castrated by shaky cam. Fallout obviously has the likeable characters that are carried over from previous films, and the action from the fourth film has always been great, and never more so than here. The crew knows what we want, and they double down in this film with some set pieces that are insane. In particular, a helicopter versus helicopter chase that is one of the best action scenes of the decade. There's another bit where characters jump out of an aeroplane, a few foot chases and fights, and another motorcycle chase, although I did prefer the one from the last film. There's a lot less humour in this one, with it being a lot more serious, with there being of course a lot more at stake, and the violence often feels brutal and ruthless. The action is splendid all around, really good, very riveting and impeccably shot as per usual with McQuarrie. It's not surprising that they've given him the gig for the next 2 Mission Impossible films as well. In terms of what I didn't like about it, I guess most of the issues I have come down to the story. It was a bit all over the place. There was double crossing after double crossing, and where in the previous 2 films the story was coherent, the motives and goals clear, here it was changing so fast and everything was going at such a pace it was hard to keep up. Even though you're enjoying a chase scene, in the back of your head you're thinking, why exactly is this character chasing this guy again? Why is he a bad guy now? What is this guy after? All the character, the motivations and the MacGuffins didn't really seamlessly flow together as they had done superbly in the last film. It does have an effect on the final product in that it feels kinda wonky in parts, and obviously there's a lack of immersion in some action scenes because you don't know why the characters are shooting at each other. Plot holes open up due to a rather weak script this time round, which is unfortunate because you can tell they've worked tremendously on the action scenes. See, with the last couple of Mission Impossible movies, the stories have actually been very good for action blockbusters. There are twists that are surprising and the objectives clear. Here it went a bit too far though, which put a bit of a blemish on an otherwise thrilling action film. I give it a 7.5 out of 10.